Hello world! So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Beth Brown. I am a professional photographer as well as the creator of the program Seeing Myself in a New Light, which is a 21-day program for healing identity after trauma and heartbreak, specifically trauma of rape or sexual abuse, assault, and in a dating type of situation. So I want to speak today about identity, anchors for our identity, as well as perfectionism and Christianity. So, identity. I'm going to speak from my perspective. I'm not going to be speaking from a clinical perspective because I am not a psychologist. I am someone who has had life experience with healing identity. So I will speak from my point of view. So I will say that my identity was formed years ago, my earliest memories. And some of those memories were about me learning how to be perfect. So if you are a perfectionist, or as I am, a recovering perfectionist, you may understand that trying to be acceptable to someone else is something that we like to do. So I learned that in order to be perfect, in order to have approval at school and with family, that I had to either maybe look a certain way or behave a certain way or even know certain things. I learned that maybe I needed to do things I did not really enjoy or want to do in order to look and be good enough to have the love of others. So this is a very dangerous lesson and very slippery, because that means that I was putting my identity, I was anchoring my identity in other people's opinions of me. So when, for example, like you may be like, this is kind of abstract, what are you talking about? So for example, my grandmother, my father's mother, was really sick. I don't remember her really being healthy ever in my life, not in my memory. And I remember in 5th grade, I was told by my father, and this is no disrespect to my father, and I'm just telling you, he did not intend for me to, have a broken identity out of this deal. But, your job is to watch out for your grandmother. Now, because I was a daddy's girl and I wanted his love and approval, I took it upon myself to very seriously watch this lady. So if we went out for family dinners or whatever, I would have to make sure she didn't fall. I'd have to walk her places and be her support. And I didn't do this because I loved my grandmother. I actually did not. And I've actually had to spend years learning how to forgive her. I did this because I wanted to please my father, and I felt that I had to execute it perfectly in order to be able to keep his love. Now, I'm sure if I had said, no, I don't want to be bothered helping this woman, I'm sure it would have been okay and I would have been still loved by him. So this is actually something that is very important in our identities, is our thoughts, our thinking processes, and that we're thinking and understanding things from the right perspective. Because other institutions such as churches, society, like fashion magazines, different things that come into play when we start thinking and anchoring other people's opinions and whether or not they see us perfect and how we execute things, right? That is going to affect how we feel about ourselves. And so what happened is, as I grew up, I took a lot of these early life lessons with me into how I felt I needed to be as a friend once I was an adult. Also, what I thought it meant for dating relationships. So also how this even affected me in church. Because sometimes you're told you have to look a certain way, present a certain way, talk to this person, don't speak to this one, don't talk to too many boys, whatever it happens to be. And you just try to please these people. But this is because our identity is anchored in things that are changing. So I have learned through hard experiences that our identity must be in something bigger than even this world. So for me, my identity is first and foremost in what God says, because it says in his word that he does not go back on his word, and that what he thinks, he doesn't change his mind. So if God says I am beautiful, he's never going to change his mind about me being beautiful. The latest beauty trends may change their mind. A man may change his mind about whether he thinks I'm beautiful or not, but God's not going to change his mind. And so when I learn really from my creator who I am and how I really am, that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, that I was made in my mother's womb, right, with thought, right, and care, very intentionally. When I start to learn those things about myself in something that is not ever going to change its mind about me, then it becomes unimportant what others think about me. Now, this does not mean that I am like heartless and that I could care less about other people. But what I'm saying is specifically, I have had to learn that I am not going to be, on a roller coaster ride of this opinion being okay of me and this opinion not being okay. And when I had a situation that came up, a few years ago that involved rape, that really changed my identity, because then that really rocked my world about what was perfect. And, I knew what people said about women. Some people, I should not say all people, but some people had expressed, certain views about this, and that impacted, again, my identity and what I felt I did or did not deserve. This impacted whether I felt worthy or not. So from personal life experiences, I have learned how to heal identity, where identity should be placed, where it should not be placed. And so this is extremely important to me, because I know that I am not the only one. And, the past year when everything got shut down in 2020, that also rocked a lot of people's worlds, and people had things that they were placing their identity in that just changed. And so I was like, but I know how I can help these people. Like, I know how I've healed, and I want to help these people who I see struggling and floundering and not knowing what to do. Like, I kind of want to share those gems to help them. So that's when I began creating the Seeing Myself in a New Light program. Was last year towards the end of 2020. And I'm looking this year to work with both women and men, and learning how to, get our minds right and have the proper perspectives, how to get our hearts right, because when our perspectives are off, it also affects our hearts, the ability to forgive. And then also that outward security in how our inner beauty then shines out into the world, making, us physically beautiful as well. And so it's 3 parts, and I created it using the method, the SIG method, which is my own created method. SIG is short for significant, meaning I am significant, because when I was a perfectionist, and I still have this moment, some days where I might be like, that's not good enough. But I am significant. I am worthy. I am, you know, bigger than this need to be perfect. In fact, it doesn't really matter, because when I try to be perfect, really I'm trying to be God. And I can't do that. I am not up for that task. That is beyond my capabilities, and that is absolutely okay. So it's absolutely okay to not be perfect. And so I'm looking forward to working with people, helping them transform their lives and their futures, because for me, this change in being able to see myself in a new light for real has actually given me and my future life. And so it's really something that's on my heart to support other people with. And so this is what I wanted to share for today. And I will share another video in the future, in the near future. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.